Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone back at Fiscal Court again, another Tuesday. Welcome to everyone. Want to do a moment of silence. If anyone has any thoughts on anyone that you need to bring up for prayer or anything to keep we'll do our usual morning moment of silence. And then I've asked Pastor Ranshaw to lead us in the pledge. But first of all, I want everyone to give us a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business would be to approve the minutes from the May 23 fiscal court meeting. You had a chance to read over those. Any changes to the minutes?
Motion.
Mr. Whelan makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wilson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We will go right into, I don't see any new business. We'll go to department reports. To the EMS, Mr. Eubank. Steve.
Bids closed yesterday on 4 different items. Those should have been received at the judge's office.
Is that these, I guess?
Yes.
All right, let's see what we got. This is from Kentucky Emergency Power, Inc. And it looks like the bid is $39,541. That was for a generator, right?
Yes.
Okay. This one, was there also a radio system upgrade?
Yes.
Looks like that's what this is. I don't know about this one. Well, they taped the paper to the top of the
Very secure.
envelope. There we go. Need an engineering degree to get in that one. This is from Mobile Communications America. Looks like it's $225,817.02. And then there's some options and some maintenance contract options and that sort of thing that you can look at. I'm almost afraid to put that back in there. gonna have to put in the next bid that they don't use, those bags. Need scissors. This is from EMS Logic. I don't see a summary here anywhere, but this is for NARC box.
Okay.
Uh, Looks like standard NARC box, $1,500 each, XL, $1,700. HQ panel with one locker, $2,900. Reporting system, $72 per box per year. Medication tags, RFID medication tags are $87.50 each. Security seals, $40 each, and entry fobs, cards, or stickers are $25 each. I think that's all of them.
All right. Thank you.
Looks like we didn't get a bid on the video scope.
Okay, do we want to just advertise that again?
Yes, I
Okay.
probably should. Have a motion to,
Motion to accept bids for review.
Mr. Renshaw makes the motion to accept bids for review. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Turpin seconds. All in favor? Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is fleet maintenance. Frank?
Do we need to do a motion to advertise for another re-advertise?
Do you want to advertise for another, on the,
Yeah.
he was going to advertise on the video scope? Yeah.
I need a motion to advertise, re-advertise for that.
Motion to re-advertise for the video bid.
Mr. Renshaw makes the motion to re-advertise for the video scope. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Turpin makes that second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now, Frank.
We had a couple bids, sealed bids that come in for some backhoe attachments, and I was just wanting to see if you wanted to accept those.
Do we have to open?
Yeah, we opened them 2 meetings ago.
We have not accepted them yet. We just reviewed them.
Can you,
They were not much
No.
dollar value.
can't,
One is for a backhoe swivel attachment from Matt Young for $230. And the other one was for a 1-foot backhoe bucket from John Dye for $75.
I think I've actually talked to you about this. I thought we should run them through a local auction and see if we could get more money for them.
Whatever you guys want to do, suits me.
I mean, I thought those numbers were low.
They don't fit anything we got. I mean, I don't know if we can get more money on them or not.
I mean, it's worth a try to
It is.
run them through equipment auction somewhere.
Whatever you want to do.
I mean,
Depends on, do we have to pay for that advertisement again and all that? If we have to,
not to advertise it, just if we can run it through an auction without advertising it, can't we?
Company you run it through should advertise it.
Yeah. I just feel they gotta be worth a little bit more money, so I
It could be.
before we make that decision.
We'll put that in motion.
How do we motion that? Just, I make a motion that we continue to,
Public auction.
yeah, to send it through a public auction for,
You want to put a reserve or anything on them, or it'll be?
Just sell them.
just sell them. I mean, we could put the reserve that we have now on it. The
I'd
bid we
say
have
just
now.
put it in the auction and sell it for what it
Yeah.
goes for.
Mr. Renshaw makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Turpin seconds. Any more discussion? We'll proceed to auction for that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Frank, we'll leave that up to you to see where you want to put that.
I can do it.
Find somewhere to auction that.
And then, asking permission to bid the lease buyouts that we got, the 5 vehicles that we're wanting to buy out of lease. It'll be 2 Durangos, 4,500 Dodge and 5,500 Dodge, and then a Suburban.
Can you tell us what the buyout's gonna be?
The residual price on them, the 5,500 Dodge is 44,833. The 2 Durangos is 25,680 each. The 4,500 Dodge is 53,722, and the Suburban is 36,734.
And we had money from a sale of something to pay for those, right?
We do.
Yep.
I make a motion that we go ahead and buy those out and use the
Well,
money.
I have to bid them first. I have to bid.
Oh, get the
That's-
advertising.
We're going to ask to bid these out because of the state auditor. Instead of buying them out, they're all over 20,000 per vehicle. And the auditor advised me to go ahead and put them up as public bid, to run the specs on them, advertise them, and then we'll buy them out.
Yeah.
To make it look legal. If we don't, we'll probably get dinged on the audit because we bought 5 vehicles that were more than 20,000 apiece. He said that'd be the most legal way to do it. So we just need to advertise for bid.
Okay, I make a motion, we advertise for bids.
Mr. Renshaw makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Wheeldon seconds. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Stacy, Public Safety.
Just need to ask the court's permission to approve the deed Martin's got done from where Fallbush bought the property back March 14th. You
Yeah.
want to address it, Martin?
This is a deed conveying it to the Fallbush Tri-County Volunteer Fire Department. I think the county paid for it initially with the agreement that you all had the money, we're going to
Yep.
pay back the $200,000 that the county used to purchase the property. So I've got the deed already.
Motion to approve the deed for the transfer.
Second.
Mr. Renshaw makes the motion. Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank
Stacy, you and the judge, you'll have to sign it before a notary.
Yeah.
Okay.
The jailer,
I'm right here.
you already up there. I was too slow on the draw there.
If it pleases the court, real quick, I'd like to address something that I've been getting a lot of questions on, was the audit for the jail the last session. What a lot of people don't understand is, unlike the sheriff and the clerk, I'm not a fee agency. Therefore, my budget is controlled and set by the court. My bills are paid by the court. I have no control over when the bills are paid or when the bills are not paid. Chris and I have had deep discussions about being able to get this reconciled and fixed. We submit our bills through purchase orders to the court through the county finance office, and those bills are paid through county finance. Many people think that the jail controls when those bills are paid. We do now keep a log of when the bills are submitted to the court. They are submitted in a timely fashion, and someone from the court who receives those bills signs off that they did receive them. Hopefully this will eliminate some of the confusion about the late fees and the finance fees that were being charged to the credit card. Even though I had no control over when they were paid or when they were not paid. It still comes back as bad on me in the audit, but you know, we do our best trying to get them to the court in a timely manner. Chris and I have come up with ways to hopefully be able to curtail that from happening in the future. So, but I just want to address the court. Many people have asked about that. So I just want to address the court that, you know, that's one thing I have no real control over is my budget, when the bills get paid and when they don't get paid. So, any questions about that? Or
I appreciate your discussion on that. I truly believe with the state requiring a 30-day paying period that we need to go back to having a bill list approved and payments every meeting versus just once a month. That would eliminate a lot of the late fees and stuff, I believe.
I agree as well. Of course, when we receive those bills, you know, my personnel go over to make sure, you know, that they are legitimate purchases. Then we send them to county finance, who also reviews them, and then of course send them to you all for review. So sometimes those steps to make sure there is no misappropriation sometimes slows things down and you know, causes that to happen. So the first thing, we opened a bid for crossbar on the e-cigs. They did meet the specifications. Of course, that is how we fund a lot of our road crews and things that we supply the county. If I'd ask your all's permission to accept that bid.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Whelan makes the motion to accept the bid. Mr. Wilson seconds. Any more discussion?
Yeah, that just to remind the community how that money is paid through commissary funds and not through the county budget,
Right.
correct?
Paid through commissary, and you know, that funds a lot of our programs that we do for the inmates, like the welding classes and the other classes that we do. That just helps fund those classes. The bad news is that we got a letter from Kelwell, which supplies our kitchen, our food. Of course, as we all know, with inflation, food cost has gone up. They have told me that there's going to be a 10% increase in our food costs this year. We were paying right at $1.05 a meal, and now we're going to be up to about $1.15 per meal. With your all's permission, I'd like to get your all's permission to enter into a new contract with them with that price increase.
Motion.
Hold on just a second. We have a motion on the floor on the e-cigs. I need to vote on it. We have a motion and a
Got ahead of
second.
myself, didn't I?
All in favor of the motion to accept the bid for the e-cigarettes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll ask for a motion to accept the kitchen contract.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion on the meals at the jail?
The only discussion I have, and I have already asked you about this, is that already going to put our new budget out of whack because it's not, this increase is not included in the budget that we already have set for next year. So we're already a little bit behind on that already. So.
Yeah, we didn't get that notification until after the budget was already prepared. We'll just have to adjust line items to make sure that we stay within our appropriate budget.
Got to pay bills.
Can pay the bills.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Jailer. Sheriff? Sheriff Jones, Bobby.
Good morning. I think y'all got a handout this morning for the 2022 property tax settlement. This is collected through from January till April the 17th, 2023. The total charges for this period that were collected were $3,336,298.17. The credits totaled $376,759.13, which left a total balance of $2,959,539.04. Once all the disbursements to the districts and refunds were accounted for, the total amount remaining due to each district is listed at the bottom of the page. Those amounts only totaled $9.23. I'll need a motion to get this passed, and I'll need your signature, Judge.
Do I have a motion to accept this report from Sheriff Jones?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Sheriff. We have reapportionment listed on the next item. Does anyone have any discussion on that today, or we have mentioned it previously that we might back that up to the next meeting to discuss that a little more? What's the pleasure of the body?
I make a motion, we leave it like it is.
Second.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion to leave the magisterial districts aligned as is. Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion?
I mean, the only question I have is the fact that the 4th district is so big. It's 217 square miles versus the next area of 148,000. And some districts has as low as 87 square miles. The 4th district is a huge, huge district, and unfortunately, the way the setup is everybody gets an equal share of the budget for blacktop and stuff like that, and it's not quite fair to the 4th district. So, I mean, I hate to see the redistricting and all that, but I understand that it can't. If we're going to be fair to all the citizens, something has to be done to handle that, or some changes have to be done to where, I mean, the services have to be provided equally per mileage or something, a roadway or something. I mean, here I am, I've got 217 square miles, but I only get one tractor driver, one dump truck driver, one backhoe driver assigned to my district, and then the other people help out. But, I mean, the tractor position, I always have to ask the other magistrates for help on getting the grass cut. I mean, that's the only different. I mean, you guys can vote the way you want, but I do think something has to change, and it can't wait another 10 years to do it.
I understand your situation, Mark. A lot of this is put together by population. I realize the population is nearly the same throughout the districts, the way they're divided. It is unequal in square miles and road miles, but we're serving population. We will try to find a better way to service the 4th district because I realize you have more mileage. We'll come up with a little bit easier plan to take care of your mowing and your road problems. If we have to share equipment from each district, we will look at a plan to do that because I realize what you're into there. I hear your cry.
Do we still have the 6 mowing tractor?
We do.
Yeah.
We do, but I think we have 3 of them down now at the critical time.
I mean, right now, and I've already asked Mike for help, and I've asked Jason for help. My district's only about 20% cut as of today. We got my main mower down. There's a big mechanical problem with the deck mower, and the side mower's down also. So I have no mower running in my district as of right now, and I'm starting to get calls out. You know, it's becoming a hazardous. I mean, I was hoping to have a first cut done by July 4th. it's not gonna happen. I doubt if I'll have half of it cut by July 4th. So, it's something that's, I don't know, but it's,
Any hope of getting your regular tractor fixed?
they're gonna have, my regular tractor, from Frank can explain it. Frank, you explain what's going on with that tractor.
Frank, I told you to be prepared.
So from what I can figure from the service tech, that the machine is plumbed wrong and it keeps exploding the deck motor. And we put 4 on the 4th District tractor. They're supposed to be here to put a temporary fix on it Thursday, and then they're working on a more permanent fix.
But they're not even sure if this temporary fix is
The
gonna work.
temporary fix will work. It's just if you stop the motor, it's just gonna relieve the pressure to the atmosphere, so it'll lose the hydraulic fluid if you stop it.
So it's mainly just cutting deck?
Yes.
Yeah, the tractor's fine. It's the cutting deck. Every time, as rocky as my district is, every time it hits a rock,
Yep,
it blows the motor.
yep.
Could we get an extra mowing deck so we'd have that?
We have one.
You have one?
Yep.
This down too?
No, what the deal is the whole machine is plumbed wrong from what I can gather. And if you just put a deck on it, then we're still gonna have the same problem with the spare deck. So that's that's what they're working on, is an update for the case strain on it.
Will they be here Thursday, you say?
To do a temporary repair, yes.
Is there any way they can give us a loaner or something while they deal with this problem? And let them take that and fix it right?
What about the side mower? What's wrong with that?
The wind is supposed to be here tomorrow for it. The side door broke out of it.
So it'll be fixed in,
The side mower will be fixed tomorrow. That's the only 2 we got down, is one mower max and then the side mower.
so we could get that back out in his district.
Yep, tomorrow afternoon.
I mean, the problem is we're
Well-
so far behind. I mean, we're really behind.
Sounds like if we get that temporary fix this week, maybe.
Yeah, it should be fine. The only issue we'll have is if they do hit a rock or stop it or whatever, it's gonna blow hydraulic fluid out, and we'll just have to add something to it until they get the more permanent repair done. Because it's an atmospheric drain.
Thank you for explaining that.
Guys, while we're on this, I would like for you all to caution your drivers, your mowing people, your operators, dump truck drivers, the backhoe operators in your district to be more careful with their equipment. Whatever they're driving, our insurance, I got the premium notice on it yesterday on our equipment, is gone outrageous because of so many accidents we're having and tear-ups and things, not necessarily with just tractors, but driving trucks. We are getting so many claims with our insurance carrier that our insurance has gone up over 40% for next year, for fiscal year July, starting July. So it's going to be extremely hard for us to keep making payments on that if we keep tearing up equipment. So caution your drivers to be more careful. We're going to have to start a training program going back into health insurance also. We're going to start a training program to make sure we have less accidents on the job. Everything is escalating. Seems like some of our workers are treating this equipment like it's not ours, we don't care. If we tear it up, we'll get a new piece or we'll get it fixed. Let's be more cautious with what we've got because it is getting insurance is getting extremely pricey right now. So let's just be more cautious with what we're doing. Did we have anything on the floor, or was that just discussion?
We had the redistricting We had a second, motion and a second.
Good idea. We have a motion on the floor then to leave the redistricting the same. Any more discussion on it? Well, we'll take a vote at this time. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Have one opposition, but I need to have a roll call on that. I'll have to have the clerk to call the roll. Jessica?
Turpin,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wilden,
Yes.
Branshaw,
No.
Strunk.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you, guys. I have, next on the list is PC Park. I'm having trouble looking at my agenda. It's so jumbled up. We've got additions and changes and things that came in. Permission to hire. I talked to Amber at the park this morning, and she has asked us to bring two names forward for seasonal help at the park. The park is doing very well. She's doing a great job down there and also at all the other parks. But I've got two people to put on the list to hire as seasonal at the park, one being Kaylin Coomer, and the other is Hope Hardwick. And both have been interviewed and are ready to go to work immediately because we had one hire that was part-time at the park or seasonal that has quit for unknown reasons, but she has resigned. So we need two more people to take the overflow at the park because it's really full of business right now.
We do both of them together, or? Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes that motion. Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I have a question. Have we done anything on security down at the park?
We have Danny Weddle down there on weekends, but we may need more. From what I hear, we need, I don't have anyone else in mind at the time, but it just was brought up to my attention this morning that we're probably going to need more security at the park.
And I talked to Dwight Sears about getting a security camera on that far parking lot out there. I think we've been having some problem with donuts and stuff. He's looking at a solution for that, so.
But Mr. Wilton, we'll take that into advisement. By the next meeting, we're probably going to be looking at someone else to put down there as part-time security to fill in some voids because we are having a little bit of problem with high school students. Basically, they've got out of school and they're going down and doing donuts in the parking lot and just mischief. You know, it's nothing major. The park seems to be going well, but we are having a little bit of mischief activity going on. 911, Beverly. That's an addition that came in a little bit later than what we wanted, but we're glad to have it.
I'm just requesting that we hire Kara Bailey full-time.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Wilson makes a motion, Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion on this hire? Is that a dispatcher?
Yes, dispatcher position. She'll start at 1 o'clock today.
We have a motion. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
While you're up there, just a quick question. What's the procedures for setting off the tornado sirens? Had a lot of calls that the tornado sirens.
I'm sure you did. There was some miscommunication, and you can talk to the emergency manager about that.
Let me ask a question, I don't think we've ever had this problem before. Isn't it an automatic thing that when tornado warning sounds off, you set off the 911 sets off the sirens? It shouldn't
Protocol
be.
is when we go under tornado warning, we set the sirens off.
There shouldn't be anything else. It should be an
No other
automatic thing,
conversation.
should not have to be approved by anybody. It's,
Correct.
and that changed, so did that change?
There was some miscommunication.
So, do we need to make a motion to make sure that happens?
No, I made
The
that
court?
motion.
No,
Okay.
I think we're fine there.
I just want to make sure, because safety of our citizens is very important.
Absolutely.
And there is, you know, I'm glad we never had a tornado, but the straight line winds and stuff did cause problems, and thank heavens
Absolutely.
nobody got hurt. So, thank you for addressing that issue.
Next item is not on the agenda also, but we want to hear a great report from Danny at Solid Waste. This might be a little bit of a surprise to a few people.
Yes, each year for the past 4 years, we've applied for our rubber modified asphalt grant. Back in 2019, we were awarded the grant for Thurman Road. In the past 4 years, we've applied for Bourbon Road. And yesterday afternoon, it was sent on to email to Judge Todd and myself that we were awarded that grant for rubber modified asphalt on Bourbon Road. So a lot of years of applying and finally getting back to us, so where we're going to be able to do part of the road in the rubber modified asphalt, and the other part of the road will be conventional asphalt. We'll do a study for about 5 years on it to see how it holds up. If you've been across Thurman Road, it looks really, really good of how that's held up. So we're hoping the same thing for this, but we do need a motion for Judge Todd to sign this grant.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Trump makes a motion, Mr. Wheeldon seconds. Any discussion? Danny, can you give us a dollar value on that? Do you have something?
Yes, it's the state will pay $97,725.55.
Very good. Any more discussion?
And they're paying for a mile of asphalt?
It's
Where
a
is
square
it?
footage amount. It's like 20 yards, I guess, is how it's figured. It's 24,000 yards, I think. And then we have to, this county matches that in conventional asphalt.
We have to approve that grant? Make a motion, we approve that grant.
We have that already. We got a motion on it.
Oh, okay. I missed it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks. Thanks, Danny.
On top of that, I will announce as well that we apply each year for our recycle grant and our compost grant. Those both came through Friday and yesterday as well. The recycle grant we were awarded this year is $357,966. That gives us some equipment on our sort line to get rid of some contamination on the sort line. Also gives us more containers to set at businesses for our rear load recycle pickup. A new skid steer that we will be able to take our old skid steer to the compost site that will be able to operate a new piece of equipment we're getting out there at the compost site. A new portable grinder that will take the place of the old one, which we do on-site document destruction at all the schools across the county and a lot of different businesses. And then our waste app that we have on our phone that covers that, and the ad, if you see at the movie theater, it's covered on our grant as well. So that's a good amount of money that we got there. At our compost, we were awarded $272,087. That gives us $100,000 to grind, and also gives us a new piece of equipment that is known as an air burner. It will allow us to clean, efficiently burn a lot of the material up there. That will allow us to get rid of more materials that come in, like when we have these storms that we don't have the money to grind, we'll be able to burn. And this is EPA certified. That what it does is it burns the material and it burns the smoke as well, so no smoke leaves this box. It's a pretty unique piece of equipment. The Corps of Engineers just got one to burn off the material off the lake. So it's on a roll-off container too, so if we have a tornado somewhere that we need to get rid of a lot of the material, we'll be able to take it to those sites, and it'll help in our emergency management as well. So one more piece of information, just to give a total grant total through the solid waste department this year. we have been awarded $839,382.10.
Good deal.
Good job.
Thank you. Good report, Dan. Thank you very much. We'll go to the road department. I think that's all.
Question? Do we have to accept those other 2 grants? Oh, okay.
Got a speed limit there.
Got a speed limit.
Yeah. 25 mile an hour on Happy Ridge.
Got the road list in front of you. We do have a speed limit on a road
Happy
that we have
Ridge.
to approve. Happy Ridge.
And I got one too on mine.
Motion on Happy Ridge.
Mr. Turpin makes a motion on the Happy Ridge speed limit. Second. Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I've got a 20-mile-hour speed limit for Lindsay Bridge.
Lindsay Ridge speed limit, I need a motion.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion, Mr. Turpin seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion carries. Vote list. Need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Wilson makes the motion, Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion on the road list? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 3,000 ton of rock.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes the motion, Mr. Wheeldon seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 3,000 gallons of patch oil and hot mix.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes the motion.
Second.
Mr. Turpin seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Do I need to go to you for the ordinance?
You can, yeah.
We have got a first reading of a change in the fire ordinance that's been distributed to each one. I will turn that over to Mr. Hatfield.
I'll just summarize it. There's only really one change in it, but it's, this ordinance will supersede ordinance number 310.4B. It was amended by county ordinances 310.5, 310.6, and 310.7. So this will amend 310.7. And basically, the only change it makes, it's on fire premium tax. And the only change it makes is the tax is 5.5%, and that's what it's always been. And the change will be in paragraph, section 2, paragraph 4, that no more than 2.2% of the premium tax collected will go into the fire sinking fund, and the remaining 3.3% will go into the general fund, the county general fund. That's the only change.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Strunk makes a motion to accept this. Mr. Wilson seconds.
Advertise.
Motion to advertise is on the floor. Any discussion? Any more discussion for this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Now we're going to the treasurer. Treasurer's report, bill list.
I've got a bunch of stuff for you guys today.
Let's go with the bill list first. You have that in front of you for approval.
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes the motion to accept bill list.
Second.
Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion? All All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Bank reconciliations, Carissa?
Bank reconciliations you guys have got in front of you guys are for the month of May.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Strunk,
Approve.
Mr. Renshaw. Motion, second by Mr. Wheeldon. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
And you all have also got in front of you some fund transfers for this month. Going to the general fund from the ARPA funding is $4,859,726.98. From general fund, going to the general fund from the Garner proceeds is $934,900. Going to 911 from general is $200,000, and then going from general from fire is $750,000.
Motion. Mr. Wheeldon makes the motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion?
Yeah, you said fire fund, right? Yeah. The verbal agreement that was done when fleet maintenance was added to the fire fund, it was said that they wouldn't be taking that money out. And it was gonna help cover the fleet maintenance cost. Early in the year, $250,000 was taken out, and I voted against it. And once again, I am voting against this transfer, and hope everybody else would live up to that verbal agreement and leave that money in that account, especially with the agreement, the new agreement that they agreed to, the fire commission agreed to, about only taking 33%. They're agreeing to move that transfer for next year from 26.26 to 33%. So I'm hoping this body would agree not to transfer that money on the fire fund.
Any other discussion? We have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Roll call.
Turpin,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wheeldon,
Yes.
Renshaw,
No.
Strunk.
Yes. Motion carries.
Also in front of you guys, you have an amendment to this current year's budget, where we're receiving unbudgeted receipts totaling an amount of $7,480,021. I'd like for you guys to approve that.
Motion to approve advertising? Has to be advertised.
It's the first reading.
Yeah, this first reading.
Second.
Mr. Renshaw makes the motion for first reading. Mr. Strunk seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Last thing I got for you all are budget transfers for each account. Do you all want me to go through all of those out loud, or there's quite a few?
Housekeeping, right?
Can we make these, I know there's a lot of them, and can you explain why we're doing this to the general public?
Basically, so that we don't exceed our budgeted amount for those GL accounts for the current year. It's just housekeeping. There's actually no more, as far as the revenue, these are just expenses on the budget transfers.
And this money that we're moving around, this is within the budget.
Correct.
But it's already set in, this money do we need to wait until this is approved before we approve the fund transfer?
That's up to you guys.
I mean, is the money currently legally in the budget to make these transfers? Or do we have to
On
wait
one
till
of
we
the
have to vote on
accounts.
this?
it does reflect some money that's coming from the amendment, so
Okay, so
I
we
guess
need
we
to
need to
wait,
wait.
wait until we approve the second reading of this before we do this.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so,
Is that right?
I don't know, that's treasurer's business.
so just want to make sure we probably need to wait to do that until after we.
I should say, we can wait just so that we're absolutely for certain.
Thank you.
Any other action? Vote on that. Next portion is citizens' comments. Ms. Brenda Russell.
I'll probably be the shortest one that stands here today. Good morning, everybody. I'm Brenda Russell, Director at God's Food Pantry, Our Place, and Oak Point Center. And I'm just coming before you today to give you a brief report about what's going on with Oak Point Center. As you know, God's Food Pantry purchased the old Palm Beach complex over on Bourne Avenue 2 or 3 years ago now, and we have been working constantly since then to try to come up with the funding to renovate that particular building. Anybody that's been in the Palm Beach building knows that there are significant renovations and needs within that building. Once those are completed, we'll have 100,000 square feet of services for our community underneath one roof. That includes the food pantry, the clothing center, a feeding center, showers for the homeless. We will have an education center, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to bring you the information about that education center, a banking center, a medical center, a chapel, all of those things that help to move people forward in their lives, with the focus being empowerment through compassion. And that means that we're teaching people how to take care of themselves, not simply putting a Band-Aid on the problem and hoping that it'll go away. We are working with some programs that have some proven track records, and can't wait to announce to you some of the collaborations that are going into that building with us. So we are taking our resources from our community, and we are using them to the best possible benefit of the people that we're serving without duplicating services or replicating things or recreating the wheel. So everything that we're doing in that building is tried and true and has track records to back it up. I think you're going to be so excited with the center. But with that said, many of you know, and all these friendly faces that we talk to on a regular basis know that we applied for an EPA grant. I suspect most of you have already seen that announcement. Unfortunately, the announcement happened right after we'd already had meetings, and I wasn't able to come tell you in person. But we did win our EPA grant for $999,821 to remediate the lead-based paint and the asbestos from that big building. Anybody that's done any kind of construction or worked with any of these buildings knows that there's a particular timeline to what you can do. We couldn't touch the building until that happened. And we are thankful for this federal grant. We understand that it is very rare for a non-municipality or a non-governmental entity, including nonprofits, to get this grant. It's projected we would have less than a 25% chance. Apparently God saw fit and decided that this project was worth that grant money. So if I told you I was in over my head, it's not because I'm short. It really is because I'm in over my head in a wonderful way. But I'm learning so many things about this, and really just wanted to reach out to tell you all. Many of you have walked with me along this journey for the last 10 years of this planning, and know that at God's Food Pantry we're fairly self-sufficient on what we do. We rarely come to you with our hands out saying, gimme, gimme, gimme. Mostly we come to you and say, hey guys, we saw a problem, we created a solution, and then we went out and found a way to make that happen. And that is exactly what we're doing in this building. So I'm not coming to you with my hands out. I'm coming to you as a friend and as a handshake. If you all have any ideas, suggestions, concerns, if you come up with perhaps a grant that you see that says, oh my gosh, this would be great for what they're doing, please reach out and have that conversation with us. We're not afraid to do the work. We're not afraid to get out there and write those grants. We're not afraid to ask for those partnerships out there. So if you have those connections, whether it's the local level, the regional, state, or national level, please reach out and let us know. This is going to be something that's going to impact our entire community and our entire region. We've had this discussion a lot lately about reentry. Mr. McCollum will tell you that we have that discussion on a regular basis. But I was in a meeting one day, and it really hit me as we were talking that reentry isn't just out of incarceration. Reentry into society comes through addiction. It comes through, obviously, incarceration. It comes through people coming out of abusive situations, comes out of the military, people trying to acclimate back in. Really, all of the tools for that reentry and introducing people and helping them to overcome the obstacles to get back into society are all the same, only maybe just a little different and tweaked for individual situations. But be ready. It's coming. Personal invitation to you and the entire public to come talk with me about concerns, suggestions, excitement. We love all of that. We're passionate about what we're doing. This is coming. Timeline is the grant opens up on July 1st. We actually can start accessing funds on September 1st. But you guys know firsthand that we have to put, this is a federal grant, everything has to go out to bid. That all takes some time to create those specifications and to put that out to bid and then to wait for those bids to come back in. And this is a pretty extensive project. So we know that we probably won't be able to start the actual initial renovations with this grant until sometime after the first of this next year. And our goal would be have those renovations complete within 12 months. We know that we have some potential grant monies sitting at the end of that grant. However, what's sitting between the EPA grant and those other grants is a roof that has to be replaced. And somewhere along the way, we've got to come up with $492,000 in change to replace the roof on the old section of that building. So on our timeline, that's actually our next step. But in the meantime, we're creating those partnerships and those collaborations with entities that already have proven track records of being successful. So y'all just stay tuned, it's coming. So come see me if you have any questions. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions while I'm here?
Just good job getting that grant.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that.
Melissa, Sky Hope Recovery, and I just wanted to come and address the county about updates on Sky Hope just a little bit. In July 23rd will be our 5th year open. It's when we opened our doors, and I think Mark remembers when we were throwing out drywall and we were cleaning up messes, and so to say that we've been here for 5 years and see people change over these past 5 years is phenomenal. It really makes your heart grow. But at that, we hit a really rough spot during COVID. COVID impacted our program more than what we realized. Our referrals from the Department of Corrections will never be the same. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing, a bad thing financially, but we've pushed through that. Our staff remained, even though they struggled sometimes getting gas and food for their own family. It tells me that the staff we have are truly driven by their heart. They will show up every single day, even though they struggle, because they want somebody else to be successful and have what they have, which is a fruitful mission. And I want to thank the county for supporting us during those times, because our doors could have closed. They did close a little bit, that we couldn't take new admissions. But as we've relaunched, here's where we're at. Our phase 2, which is the employment track and the educational track, is exploding. And that is only because this county has been so caring and compassionate to open their doors and give these ladies jobs, not just part-time jobs, but careers. The Fletcher Group, the adult education, all the people that pour in free services to our program have opened their hearts and their eyes to that they are more than what they ever thought they could be. And so they're going to be the movers and shakers to make this community a recovery resilient community. And if we're not recovery resilient, that market that wants to take our next generation is going to win. So they're out there, they're doing their job, and we are working with the ASAP to apply for recovery resilient community certification and make our county so much better. The other lovely part of our program and coming out of COVID is that our ladies feel so much love when they're out there volunteering and connecting with the community. They feel just a part of. They feel like they're a community member, not one of those Sky Hope ladies. And they decide to stay. So they're looking for jobs. I mean, they're not looking for jobs. They can get jobs. They're looking for housing. And they're looking to reunite with their children in a safe place. Not a trap house, not substandard housing, but housing to where they can feel safe and they can bring their children and feel safe and reconnect with their kids and show them who they really are. And that creates a little bit of a problem. I'm an investor of the heart. I don't invest money because I don't have money to invest. It makes me anxious to even think about borrowing money. But if there's people out there that want to invest in housing, there's some lots around Sky Hope that would love to have some housing because they are finding it very difficult to find affordable housing. Because when they leave Sky Hope, we do have HUD funding, but they're making money to where that HUD doesn't even matter. So that means their incomes are above that standard to where they pay rent and HUD isn't used, which is great. But then they have their kids. So they are staying in our community, and I think the longest resident we have is coming upon the mark on June 28th. She will be there for two total years. That's the maximum they can be there. And I think she's got an apartment, but it's just getting really hard for them to find affordable housing to launch out into. But that's a good problem to have, that people are employing them and they are outreaching to them. And when we create the foundation at Sky Hope, but it's our community that we hand that soft transition over to. And if they don't have people who love them and care for them and want to lead them farther beyond what Sky Hope can do, then the success rate won't be as strong. But it is strong, and it's resilient. So I just want to say thank you for everything that you have done for Sky Hope and our ladies, and I look forward to what's coming in the future. I still have hopes and visions for social enterprise so that we are not so dependent upon contracts and grants. So a grant writer I'm trying to be. I'm not being very successful at it right now, but I'm going to keep pushing and keep trying. So I just want to say thank you and hope that we continue to have your support in the future.
Thank you.
Quick question. It's been 5 years and we've worked together quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain how your program is different than a 30 or 60-day recovery program?
We do not bill insurance. Our services are not billable through Medicaid or any other private insurance. So that makes us, we are a recovery program, not a treatment model. So that makes us a little different. They can stay in the program as long as they need to. Some of them have some extreme trauma that they need to heal through, so we work through the 12 steps of AA. And there's a therapeutic value within those steps. And so it's very person-centered, and it's not dictated by the insurance time frames. We tell them or try to guide them to when they're ready. So it may take somebody 6 months to complete the program, and then it may take another one a whole year. But we are supported through community block grants and Department of Corrections grants, Department of Corrections contract, And that'll never be the same. And that's only because they have more options. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing, it's a great thing, because we used to have waiting lists and people out there who were dying to get into a safe place to have treatment. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm okay that our contracts will never be the same because of that. But we go all the way up to 2 years. We're a recovery housing with a program inside it. And we just don't bill for their services at all. We rely completely on the community support. We rely on our car washes. We rely on trying to develop three social enterprises so that we can bring more funds into the program. And we tell them when they're ready. And then we slowly transition them out into phase 2, because when you are in a program and you wreck it and rumble with all those dysregulated emotions, and then you ease into community, then there's a different level of emotions. They're hit with a tsunami of unexpected things, like their kids, their family, a job responsibility, their recovery program, their church that they go to, if they report to the courts, or if they report to the Department of Corrections, or if they go to drug court. So the longer they stay connected to us, the better we can help them regulate those emotions without an external substance. So it is long-term and not driven by time frames, because nobody has a time frame for recovery. It's about growth and moving forward. I'm thankful we're not dependent upon insurance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ashley Homrich, and I'm here with the Lake Cumberland Diversity Collective. And perhaps you guys have seen in the newspaper or through yard signs that we will be having our Lake Cumberland Juneteenth Jubilee this weekend. And so I just wanted to come here and formally invite each and every one of you. The entire community is certainly invited as well. And this event, it's extremely important. It's important because as Americans, it recognizes freedom and the ongoing struggles that some of our fellow community members still face today. With that said, we will have events we'll have lots of poetry, art, just really fun things, and so I hope to see each and every one of you there. It will be Saturday from 5 to 9 at the Judicial Plaza, and we thank you all for having the Judicial Plaza for our community. We really look forward and just hope to see you all there, and I will leave some flyers here if anyone would like to take one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here to bring you an update. I haven't had a chance to get to the fiscal court over the last few meetings, so I wanted to give you all the opportunity to hear firsthand what we're doing with the Connect Community Village initiative. We are a 501c3 nonprofit corporation centered around a faith-based discipleship and character-building community that will serve our veterans in their transition to civilian life. The Bluegrass Veterans Ranch, as it will be called, consists of 25 tiny houses and will be set on a 20-acre eco-friendly ranch that will be the home of our underserved veterans. Bluegrass Ranch will be a working ranch with animal therapy, holistic farming, and also continued programs to help our veterans transition back to civilian life. Our veterans will have continued access to our community resources and programs to continue their successful reentry. Upon graduation from our one-year program, they will have a vocationally trained livable wage, stable housing, and transportation, these three things that they so desperately need to be able to adapt back to their civilian life. I do have some handouts that I would like for you all to pick up. It tells you a little bit more in detail what we're doing. We do have our 20 acres. It's north of 39. It's at Pine Hill Road. We do have a grant that we have applied for that hopefully we will be able to acquire that grant sometime in September and October that will help us begin construction. In the meantime, we'll do some minor repairs and construction on the property ourselves as volunteers. But I just wanted to thank Pulaski County and the Fiscal Court for their help and their support of this initiative. Our veterans, of all people, need to be treated with respect and dignity, and that's what we intend to do. There should not be one veteran that is walking around homeless in a situation where they do not have enough income that they can purchase food and have a decent type living. So we're focusing as we join with the others that care so much about our community and the residents of our community. We're not going to reinvent any wheels. We're just going to use all the resources and programs that are already being in place. But we hope that you all will come out on June 29th. We're having our Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting that day. You can go out 39, turn right on 1317, and you'll see the signs there. It's a beautiful piece of property, and we'll have tiny homes, we'll have animals. We plan to help the Pulaski County animal shelter by taking on some of their high-risk animals as physical therapy for our veterans. So, and we want to connect our veterans back to our community and our community back to our veterans. So that's what we're all about, and I'll be glad to speak one-on-one with anybody that would like to. So again, we appreciate your support, and I'll leave some of these brochures right here for you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you for what you're doing for our vets.
Anyone else? Mr. Spann?
I'll raise this a little bit, Brenda, if that's okay. I'm Bob Boone. I work with the Adonta Regional Prevention Center. I came here with just 3 real quick, short things. Melissa already addressed the one. I wanted to announce to you all that we are applying for Recovery Ready community status. That is a joint Somerset-Pulaski County event that we've got a team working together, and we want to get to that. It's really going to be important. One, I think, as far as economic development, people will look at that and understand. But 2, the biggest thing is that will really help in applying for these additional grants through the offices at Frankfurt. We understand that, it will basically, and I don't understand grant processes. I don't have to write many, but, give you more points towards the grants and awardability of those. So I think that's fantastic. The second thing I just wanted to do is to just let people know that there is a prevention center. We work in ATOD, that's alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. What we do, I explained, I think, when I was here before, we go upstream. All the recovery processes that we have and the recovery opportunities are fantastic, but in the prevention office, we don't work with clients, we work with communities. My official title is I'm collaboration specialist. I work in 10 counties, and I come to meetings like this, whether they're council meetings, fiscal court meetings, to work with communities, bring agencies together so that we can build safe communities for our children. We work with the schools. We go into the schools and try to, educate the kids. We've got a lot of stuff in the past that didn't work. We've got a lot of stuff that does work. So that's what we do there. We're a tremendous resource if you're looking for anything in terms of alcohol, tobacco, or drug prevention. Also suicide prevention. I am trained in question, persuade, refer. I offer that service free of charge to the county government to come and train on suicide awareness and how to handle that situation. And QPR is what I teach. In a nutshell, QPR is to suicide what CPR is to a heart attack or a cardiovascular event. It's just an intervention until the professionals can get there. We can get somebody to do that. The last thing, when I addressed this fiscal court, I asked about the opiate abatement monies, and I'm just curious, do we have an update? I've been working as a consultant with other counties and their governments trying to figure out how to handle that. I know there's a lot of confusion out there. The direction from the state has been kind of wishy-washy, to say the least, but I'd like to know where they're at, and again, offer our services that we want to help. We want to figure out how we can use those funds to best serve our citizens within Pulaski County. And I thank you for your time. If anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them.
I think we have received some funds. They're sitting in an account right now, but I don't know where we're going with it. So, kind of.
I mean, the money is coming in, settlements continue to get worked out, but the court's not had any discussions, as far as I know, on how those funds are to be used. There are directions from the bankruptcy court, or not the bankruptcy court, the federal court that's administering all the settlements as to what purposes they can be used for. On the state level, their funds, which we split 50-50 with them, the counties and the state. They've been doing some things with their funds. Of course, they've got an administrator that was hired to oversee their funds, but each county's kind of being left to manage them in the way that best suits their.
You're right, and I know a couple counties I'm working with. I think they've reached out to you and said, well, and nobody really is. The counties really haven't, but as a prevention office, we're willing to come and act as advisors, just to, I hate to use that term, consultants and advisors, but just to use, and take some of the knowledge that we have, that how can we best put those funds to use within our county and not let them go to waste. We are going to be held accountable for those as citizens and as a government. Again, I reach out. Let's put a team together and let's get cracking on this so people can know they can come and, reach out and maybe apply for some of that funding as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? No more comments. Mr. Hatfield would like to address an issue.
Yeah, and it regards open records request. We've had, and let me begin by saying that nobody has to send open records requests through my office, but the law doesn't require that. But we hope you will do that. We've had a couple of instances lately where they've gone to a department and they've not made their way my office, at least, in a timely manner. We've got a 5-day window to respond to those. Of course, whoever they go to, I don't have the records. My office doesn't have the records. It's the county clerk's office or the jail or whoever will be the holder of the records, if any records exist. And a lot of times people ask for records that don't exist. The open records law doesn't require any agency to put together a record. It only requires that an existing record be turned over. You don't have to go and look through all these records and put together a summary for anybody. So a lot of times the requests have to be modified as to what the requester's looking for. But I would encourage all of you, if you want me and my office to respond to those, I would encourage you to log them in when they come into your agency, and then get them to us as soon as possible, so we can work with whichever department it is to make sure that the records are being gathered together and that we're getting them to the person requesting them in a timely manner, because if we don't, we wind up with an appeal being filed to the Attorney General's office, and then we have to respond to that. So I just wanted to get that on everybody's radar, make sure when those requests come in that that they get, I would say get them to the agency head or your department head, and then to the judge or to the clerk or to the jailer, whoever the head of the department is, and then.
But they can bring them directly to you?
Yeah, you can bring them directly to me, but I would think the clerk or the jailer or the judge or whoever would want to know that you got one, so, but, yeah, you can send them directly to us, and we'll respond, we'll work with whoever has custody of those records to respond to it.
Thank you. Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Mr. Wilson makes that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Strunk seconds. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? We stand adjourned.